Today on Fight Insight Podcast, we will have friend of the show, Rayshawn the Slim Reaper Roland, who will be back in action at UNF 20. Plus, we will have a behind-the-scenes look of Noche UFC from the event's timekeeper, Richie Urquidez. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Insight Podcast.
Rain, we're back. We haven't recorded a podcast in like over 2 weeks now because I was on vacation. You were on vacation, but now we're back to recording live during the weeks, which is so exciting. And our guest this week is a man that I first met back on episode 88, which is very good luck in Chinese culture. So he was a very good luck guest for us. I knew that he was going to be the future of the fight game. I had seen him on Instagram. I wanted him on the podcast. He came on. Since then, right now, I think he's gone on a 3-fight win streak. He next competes at UNF 20 in your neck of the woods. He is a future star of the fight game. What is the way that UNF calls it?
The future of the fight game.
Oh, okay. Well, I said it perfectly.
Yeah.
There you go. Future of the fight game. This is the man. Rain, when we had you on the podcast, he sent in a video message to you. He didn't even know you at the time to say, welcome to the UNF family. This is a good guy. I really appreciate him coming back on the podcast. Here he is, Rain. Bring him in.
Please welcome Rayshawn, the Slim Reaper Roland.
Hey, appreciate for having me.
Rayshawn Roland, the Slim Reaper. What's up, my man?
What's good? How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. Good, man. I'm so excited to see you. So excited to have you back on the podcast. It's been like literally almost 2 years, I think.
Man, I don't know where the time went. It's flew. It felt like yesterday though, but man, wow.
It has, man. It really feels like time has flown by. But there you are, racking up the wins. You're on a 3-fight win streak, I believe. Correct, sir?
Correct.
3-1 amateur fighter, turning your career around. Now, you have not fought in some time because I believe you were injured. You had a surgery.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about, man?
I had broke my hand in sparring, getting ready for a fight. Man, you guys know how that go. Just training hard and threw the wrong punch and broke my hand. I had to get surgery on this bad boy right here, but we're back. We're back.
There you go, man. And how did that, like you're an amateur fighter, you're looking at like climbing the ranks, turning pro, becoming the professional that we know you're going to be. How does an injury like that, affect you mentally? How were you able to kind of keep your focus and keep dedicated during that healing time?
It was definitely tough for me. I lost a lot. I lost a lot of things, just, like my job and all that type of stuff, so I just been going through a tough time as the recovery. But, the tough times makes the best of me, you know what I mean? So it was definitely tough. It was hard. I got down on myself a lot of times. I just, but not once did I question myself like, do I want to do this or, anything like that. So it just put a little bit more fire into me. And, and I just know that I'm meant for this. So I stayed down and, I just recovered, got healthy. And I never stopped training, believe it or not. Like soon as I got out of surgery, took like a week off, couple weeks actually, like probably like 2 weeks literally, and I was already just had it in the sling and just swinging the other hand, you know what I mean? Running and doing everything I could do. Just, it was very limited obviously, but I was doing as much as I can with one hand. So I tried to just stay busy. But it was a good recovery though. It was good, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it could be,
Nice. Well, good for you, man. And you're an orthodox fighter, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So then, and the hand, for those that were on audio, you were showing it was your right hand that was injured. So there's your dominant hand that was injured.
Yes.
Man, while you're training with the dominant hand in the sling, did you find that it improved your left hand? Like, did you get stronger in the jab, stronger in your front hand?
Oh, absolutely. Man, I can switch now, just because of that. I switch. You guys will see it September 28th, a little switch game on there if I don't end it quick. But yeah, that's yeah, it definitely helped my left improve a lot, you know, the
Nice.
jabs, and then working from the switch side, from the southpaw.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely helped. You know,
Yeah.
it was like, I messed it up, but I used it to make it a better situation for
Yeah.
me. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
look, I am in no way the kind of athlete that Rayshawn Roland is, Rain. But when I was training, there was 1 year, almost a full year, where I couldn't use my right hand because I busted it playing volleyball of all things. That's why my fingers crooked like
Oh
this.
man, yeah.
Oh wow.
It's disgusting. And it was in a cast for like 6 weeks. And then when I got out of the cast, it dropped again. It re-injured, so I had to go back in the cast. During that whole time, though, I would still go train, but I would only use my left hand. Felt like I got so much better. That's why I'm asking that question, because it really, then I feel like it improved me as a fighter. I wasn't able to switch stance as much because I'm not as good as Slim Reaper here, but I got a lot of confidence in the left hand. You know what I mean? And
For
and
sure.
I feel like, you know what, it could be a blessing in disguise,
Oh no,
because
definitely is. Definitely.
people really get messed up when you're sparring with them and you switch stance.
Mm.
Oh
Really
yeah.
people up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely switch it up on them, you know what I mean? You guys will see.
Yeah. All right. Don't spoil everything. Of course, I do have the photo here. This is you here for UNF 20. Where's my Rayshawn Roland? Here we go. Here's the photo here. There it is.
Woohoo!
Roland versus
Sick.
Palacio. September 28th. Get your tickets at upnextfighting.com. Rain, will you be commentating at this event? Or sorry, will you be announcing at this event?
Yeah, I will be announcing UNF 20, so I cannot wait to announce Rayshawn Roland. Cool. So basically, Rayshawn actually fought on my debut night for UNF last year. However, I did not announce him. I did not introduce him because it was Killer Cam who introduced his bout. So
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
All right. So Slim Reaper, you're one of the stars of UNF now. Are you allowed to just go to the brass and say, "Look, I demand that Ringside Rain announces me in"?
Oh
Do you have
man,
that?
yeah.
Do you have that kind of
definitely,
pull?
I could try to pull some strings.
Nice. Good, man. How excited are you to make your return, and what can the fans expect from you at Up Next Fighting?
Oh man, excited is an understatement. I'm ready to go. And the fans can expect nothing but fireworks and just straight violence. Like I'm leaving it all. I'm going out on my shield. Like I'm not here to play around. You know, I'm getting older. 25. I'm at the end of my career for amateur. I'm at the end of my amateur career. I'm coming to smash this dude. You know, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, I respect him. He's a good fighter. I respect anybody that gets in there with me. Zane's a good fighter. I respect him, but like I'm gonna have to show that there's different levels to this, and I'm just the fans can just expect a great fight. You know, a great a war, whatever. I'm ready for whatever. Wherever it goes, I'm ready for it, and I'm gonna be in his face 24/7. And yeah, that they can just expect violence that night.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, man, don't worry about making it a quick night. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
We don't. I
yeah,
mean, if you choose and you don't want it to be a war and you just want to finish it quick,
Mhm.
by all means. We didn't pay per the hour. You know what I mean? So just
for sure.
finish it quick, my friend. Because look, you've got things to do in your career
Hmm.
after
Hmm.
this victory. Do you think you turn pro after that, or because you said I'm at the end of my amateur career? Does that mean like with one more victory, you think you turn pro? What's the outlook there?
Well, after this victory, once I get this win, by the grace of God, um, I'm going for the title. It's already in the works and talks. I just got to go out there and handle my business and do what I got to do. I handle business. I handle my candle. I go get that title. I get the belt. I fight for that. Win, lose, or draw. I don't want to stall it. I'm going pro. You know, so I got two
Nice.
fights in me. Two fights in me. Get back, talk to my manager, see how they feel. They're about ready. We're all on the same page, but you know, obviously we want to see how my performance play out in
Right.
these next two fights. And yes, after these two fights, I would love to I will be making my debut sometime next year.
Nice, man. And of course, you'll be on the Fight Insight podcast so we can talk about your debut.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm with you
Don't,
guys
I mean,
forever.
yeah, of course, my friend.
Forever.
Now, very important because you're a stylish dude. I mean, I can the way that you're dressed even right now, you're at home, but you're dressed very stylish. How's the hair going? Do you still got the skullet going on? What's
Oh
up?
yeah, it ain't going nowhere. I got to get a haircut. It ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna have something special for a fight night. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'm gonna sauce it up a little bit. Yeah, but this is not going nowhere. This is my little good luck charm right here. The little
I love
shag.
it. Wait, what do you call it again?
It's called a shag.
Okay, but how
Shag?
come
A shag.
Okay.
Yeah.
the UFC fighter he calls it skullet?
Oh, okay. I mean, that's different. I never heard of that. That's
No,
dope
really?
though.
Wait,
No, I
what's
never.
yeah, there's a UFC fighter. Hold on. Now I'm not going to remember. He was on our podcast too,
I've
but I'm
seen.
not
I don't know if we're talking about the same guy, but I've seen a guy. He had like a bald head, and then he had this
Yes.
in the back.
Yeah. Hold on. What the heck is his name? I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah, and he always goes #Skullet Gang.
Damn, that's crazy. That's different.
Inner
I've
G.
never heard of that.
Inner G.
Oh,
Charles
Charles
Johnson.
Johnson. Charles Johnson.
Oh wow.
Inner G. Yeah.
That's different. I never heard of that. That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
dope though.
Go look him up. Inner G. Charles Johnson. He's on a huge win streak in the UFC, and he's kicking ass. But yeah,
Nice.
he's got he's bald, but he's got that little patch back there, and he's always #Skullet Gang. And I'm like, when I saw him do it, I'm like, I think he stole that from Ray Roland.
I was the first. I mean, I'm not gonna say to him, but you know, where I'm from, I was one of the first to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
In California, because it's like a Texas thing, from what I hear all the time. I always get, you from Texas? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm from Cali. They be like, oh, that's a Texas haircut you got. I'm like, oh, well, I like it.
Well, there you go. All right. Yeah. I don't want to start any beef between you and Charles Johnson, but you know, he's a good dude though. And the thing is too, is that Rain, he reminds me like these two guys are both very personable, very funny, very friendly guys. So it's so funny. I'm like, oh, the haircut makes these people very likable. I don't know what it is, but Slim Reaper, you're looking to turn pro. You're looking to, advance in your career. You're a very personable guy. Right? You've got the good style. You've got the personality. How important is your social media? I always want to ask these young fighters, Rain, like how important is it for you on your social media? You have a manager. You've talked about that already. Does your manager ever say like, look, Slim Reaper, you got to like pump up the social media. You got to make a personality for yourself. Any pressure on that for you?
No, he actually told me that I'm doing really good with the social media, you know, and it's going to build as we go, you know, and as I just keep winning and just, you know, just keep building my brand and keep building myself. But he actually, that's crazy you asked that question, because he actually did tell me that personally, like, bro, I love your Instagram.
Nice.
I love it. You know what I mean? I always promote, like, that's what it's about, especially in this now, in this time of the, like in this era.
Right.
It's you know, it's about promoting, you know what I mean? So I'm all about that. Whether if it's a lot of likes or very few, I'm going to promote, and I'm going to just keep promoting and just keep building my brand. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Like, and here's the thing: you are at Nuskie125. That's at NUSKIE125. I've got it floating down on the bottom of the screen there. But so if you're listening to this podcast, follow Ray Roland. You're almost at 5,000 followers, so you're doing very well in that regard. Yeah. You've got a lot of posts. You always do your stories, and like you said, like your social media is very clean, right? It's always good photos. It's not a lot of junky stuff. But you're a good dude, man. You're posting up good stuff, so I like it. People got to follow you and get behind you. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
We talked about it before the podcast started. You're always representing your brand very well in terms of the Up Next Fighting brand. That was something that I recognized from you right when I first saw you 2 years ago, before you were even, I think maybe before you even made your amateur debut. I can't remember.
It was definitely before. Yeah,
it was right. Yeah, and right away you're there. You're representing the Up Next Fighting brand and the family there. How much has the promotion respected you for something like that? Because that's huge, man.
Man, the promotion, I just couldn't ask for a better one. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Shout out to Ryan Buckner, Chris Buckner, just shout out to the whole Up Next family, dude. Like, they're so great. I couldn't ask for better, man. They got my back, and they support anything I do. They just been so great, and it makes you want to push them, like, because they're gonna push you. So it's like you gotta give that energy back. You know what I mean? This is what it's about, and Dude, yeah, they're just the best promotion out there, man, and I love them. I love them so much. You know, they're just it's words can't even I can't even put it together. They're so great. You know what I mean? So it makes me just want to get out and just fight, win, and just put them out there. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're doing for us, and it's just a great thing.
Yeah, it is, man. You're a good guy. You have a son. And I
Yes.
know that a lot of times on your Instagram, you're posting with your son. Obviously, I like talking about the fights and stuff, but I like getting to know you guys. How's everything with your son? How's he going? Will he be making his debut soon in the toddler division of Up and Fight?
He's ready to, man. This dude, he was just
Oh.
he's in the back right now, man. This dude, he's yeah, man, he's definitely he's ready. I'm gonna put him in there. I have him training a little bit here and there. He's in school. He's doing soccer, so he's been a little busy. But definitely, I'm gonna put him in training and just let him defend himself. Let him be able to know how to defend himself. I don't know if I want him to compete. It's a little
Yeah.
scary for me, but definitely, yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I definitely want him to train. And I mean, obviously, when he gets a certain age, he can make that decision himself. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for. I want to be able to, be able to fight for him. You know what I mean? And just be
Nice.
able to show him like you don't got to do what I'm doing. Do whatever you want to do. But he's definitely a good kid, man. He's in the back right now, just getting ready for bed. He got to be up
Nice.
early. He's so funny, man. I love that guy.
And how old is your son?
He's gonna be 5 on Friday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Ooh.
There you go.
Thank you.
Does he have a baby skullet?
Nah, he doesn't. He got long hair.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he has
Oh.
his hair is super long. His mom will never let him cut it.
All right. That's fine. We can braid it up for the fights. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure. He loves braiding his hair and getting haircuts, little line up, braided up, look good.
Nice. There
Very
you go.
handsome baby, man.
Now, obviously he knows that you train and stuff like that. I mean, as much as a 5-year-old would know, right? Will he be going to the fight?
We might try to get. I think we gonna probably have him out to this one. We haven't brought him
Okay.
to any fights yet. We just don't like him to see. We don't want him to see nothing crazy, I mean,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
different. It's different. A lot of people be having their kids there, and I mean, I think I want him to come and be able to watch it too. But
Nice.
his mom, they have his grandma. They don't like him seeing all the violence and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
I
mean
think he's gonna be there though.
Nice. That's always like a interesting thing for me though, right? Because Rain, I never know like how people would think about it.
Yeah.
If you want your children there, if they want to see it and stuff like that. That was always a big thing with, if you remember, this maybe it's too old for both of you, but Karate Hottie, Michelle Watterson, her daughter has like grown up watching her mom fight, and there were some documentaries that she did back when her child was very, very young, like coming to some of the fights and stuff like that. It was a very emotional thing. So I was just wondering how that goes for you, Slim Reaper.
Yeah, it's super emotional. I mean, he watched me train and I spar. He'd be there, and Daddy, get up, or Daddy, do this. As he
Yeah.
just, he's so funny.
I mean, I
So
don't know that he'd be allowed to be in your corner. Like, would he be your coach, like a little 5-year-old
he can
coaching
be.
Daddy? Daddy, get the Kimura. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be
Uh,
crazy, huh?
yeah, pretty awesome. Rain, is there anything that you want to ask Mr. Slim Reaper?
Yeah. So you are on a 3-fight win streak, right? And in your last win, I actually announced you as the winner. I didn't introduce you, but I remember announcing you as the winner.
Mm-hmm.
All of your wins are all by unanimous decision. Now, for a fighter, is that something that comes to your mind sometimes, right? Okay, I've had unanimous wins. I haven't had like a submission, or a split decision. Well, I guess you wouldn't really want a split decision, but like a submission victory, is that something that comes into your mind sometimes? Hey, I want to make someone, tap out.
Oh man, it definitely it picks at me a lot because like before I came into the MMA world, I had all finishes. I was 4-0 with 4 KOs in kickboxing, well Muay Thai, but and so once I got into MMA and I just I went and all my wins were unanimous decision. I was just like, dang it, like I know I can do so much better, you know what I mean? And yeah, it definitely it bothers me. So that's all just building up to Zane, and that's where this fight I'm definitely gonna try 100% to finish it. I don't know how. Might be knockout, might be submission, but I gotta finish this fight. Like I'm tired of getting unanimous decision wins. I want to get a finish. I need a finish. I'm due for a finish. So yeah, it's definitely that was a great question because that definitely bothers me a lot. But I mean, as long as I get the win, but you want to win. You want to win in fashion. You don't want to. I gotta get some type of finish. And I want to keep it like that. So
Like you want to make a statement, right?
gotta make a statement. Exactly.
Yeah. Make the statement, the highlight reel finish. UNF always does a great job with their promotions and their videos. So you want to get that highlight reel finish so that it's on your social media forever. That catapults you into that title fight. That catapults you into your professional career.
Exactly. Facts.
Man, all the steps are lined up for you, dude. Like, I'm so excited to watch you. I want to ask you one last question before we let you go. It's a question that since you've been on, I've been asking this question to everybody. So I'd never asked it to you before, but I want to ask it to you now. It's a question that my mom used to ask me almost every day of my life growing up. And maybe it's something that you would ask your son. I don't know. But on a scale of 1 to 10, Slim Reaper, how happy are you?
Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with the 10. I've been really, really happy. I just picked up my new job. My dad, he's been in my ear, my stepmom. I've been having my family, you know what I mean? They've been pushing me. Like my dad really been motivating me, keeping me in high spirits, you know what I mean? He got my back, man. My dad just been having my back. My mom, my stepmom, both of them. I got a stepmom and a mom, and I love them both, and they're great. And they just been keeping me in high spirits, And on a scale of 1 through 10, I'm gonna go with a 10 because I've been low, and it's crazy that you asked me that because I've been super low at a couple, building up just while I've been injured. I've been down. I lost my job. I just been super like just angry, and all that just turned around, and I've been super happy. I've been happy lately. I'm in a good place, so yeah, I'm gonna go with a 10 on that one.
That's good, man. That's good. And I appreciate you being honest about like the ups and downs and stuff like that, because like as a father too and as a fighter, you have to realize, man, life isn't always going to be up here. You know what I mean? Like there's ebbs and flows to it, and it's about how you bounce back from those things that really creates the character that you are. So no, man, I'm happy. I'm happy that at this moment you're a 10. But I'm also happy that you can appreciate that, yeah, sometimes it goes up and down, and that's okay. Like things will bounce back. And I'm super glad that you have that support system. I remember the last podcast you were on, you talked about your father as well, because he's the guy that gave you your nickname, right? Slim Reaper,
yeah.
I think, if I recall.
Yeah. He's the one who gave me the Slim Reaper, man. He was the one. I never knew what that was. I didn't even know that Kevin Durant name is that. I didn't even know that.
Oh, well, I was today years old when I found that out because I never knew that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what? But I'm running with that. I guess they call him that. They call him like the Slim Reaper or something. But my dad, he gave me that name. He brought it up. I was like, nice. It's crazy.
Nice, dude. I'm so happy for you, man. Ray Roland, guys, do not miss this. Okay, do not miss this fight. We'll talk about this leading up to it, of course, but there you are. Again, it's Ray Roland at UNF 20, September 28th. Get it at upnextfighting.com. Man, Slim Reaper, I was so happy to have you back on the podcast. I saw one of the videos that they had on their Instagram where they were going out to random people showing the photos of you and your opponent, and they were guessing who's going to win.
Yeah.
A lot of people picked you because you were mean mugging in that photo. They like that photo. They liked how you look.
I seen that.
Yeah. The smart people were like, yo, that guy looks pretty mean. I'm picking that Ray Roland guy.
Yeah. I was watching that. I got to go out there and prove him right.
Yeah, exactly, man. Slim Reaper, thank you so much for joining the podcast, man. Before we let you go, is there anything that you want to say to fans, viewers, and listeners of the podcast?
I just, you guys just be there September 28th. Shout out to you guys, to Fighting Sight podcast, man. You guys are the best. Shout out Rain. You're the best. Shout out my family, my sponsors, man. And just shout out my fans. I love you guys. And we on this journey together.
Woohoo!
And up and up and up and up.
That we are, my friend. Thank you so much, Ray Roland. I appreciate you coming back on the podcast. I really, really do. We will see you soon. Congratulations on all your successes. Congratulations on your future successes. Go kick ass for us, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Have
I'll
a good
see you
one.
at the weigh-ins next
See
week.
ya.
See you, buddy.
Guys, have a good one.
All right, Rain. That is Mr. Rayshawn Roland, the
Woo.
Slim Reaper. And our next guest is here. He was
He's
here.
here?
And I'm so sorry that we're a little bit late. We're running a little bit behind on schedule, but we will get to him in 1 second. Before we do, I just want to do a very quick Friends of the Podcast update because it's very important that we do that. Rain, I have forgotten everything that has happened in the last 2 weeks while I was on vacation, but I do want to shout out always our good support at RageWorks Podcast Network. Go check out RageWorksNetwork.com for other great audio podcasts like ours and tell them that we sent you. You can find our podcast everywhere. Give us a like and a follow if you're here because of the Slim Reaper. Thank you so much. We have great guests every week. Next week, I have no clue who we have on because, Rain, my whole life right now is focused on these guys. Fight League Atlantic. I'm going out there this weekend. You do not want to miss this event. Rain, this is getting crazy right now. I've already told you guys for the last long time that they've got a doubleheader weekend. So, of course, we're getting to 1 day, 2 huge events, Saturday, September 21st. Okay. Fight League Atlantic. Go to fightleagueatlantic.com. In the morning at 11 a.m., they've got Tap or Tag 3. It's a BJJ event. Going to be crazy. Then in the evening, you've got FLA 16. Gonna be insane. Rain, I'm going to show you one quick photo of some of the matchups that they're already making. Here's one of the tag team matches that they've got going on. Okay. For the first, I think this is the first one. Look at this combination. West Side MXT Jiu-Jitsu, this team here with these two young dudes, and they're very happy looking and they're looking very friendly against the Road Warriors, who literally, yeah, this is, I mean, who's going to win this match, Rain?
I mean, I'm going to bet on the Road Warriors. They're ready to go. They're ready to fight, man.
Rain, that one guy might weigh more than both of those guys combined. I mean, his chest might weigh more than those two. This is going to be crazy, Rain. The tag teams that are coming out for this event look insane. I am so excited. Guys, go get it. Get this pay-per-view, please. Go to fightleagueatlantic.com. It's going to be insane. But look, no more time for talking because our guest is here and I want to bring him in, Rain. Rain, you met this man just this past weekend, and amazingly, he fit the bill as the perfect guest that we needed on this episode, Rain. So bring this dude in.
Please welcome Richie Urquidez.
You guys are too kind. That's funny.
How you doing?
How are you guys? Good.
Richie Urquidez. I'm very proud and very honored to meet you, my friend. Rain says nothing but the greatest things about you. She just met you this past weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, we went to church with Joe Martinez and had a good experience meeting Rain, and I think it was awesome to meet her. Yeah, it was
all right.
pretty neat to see that she won the ring announcer for WWE. I did not know that until I met her. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So congratulations, Rain.
Wait, when did you find that out? When you were just looking at her Instagram?
Yeah, after I met her, I looked at her Instagram and I was like, oh wow, that's how she got into the business. Okay.
Yeah. Richie, don't you think if you won a contest to announce at SummerSlam that should be the first way you introduce yourself to people wherever you go?
She's way too humble for that, though.
Yeah, way too humble. But Richie, here's the thing, man. And of course, you met through Joe Martinez, which is awesome because Joe Martinez has been on this podcast twice. Awesome. And Richie, the last episode that he appeared on our podcast, he said that we are no longer the worst podcast he's ever been on. So, I mean, too kind. Now, Richie, here's the deal. People are going to go like, who's this Richie guy? And why do we want him on the Fight Insight podcast? Well, here's the deal. This past weekend, we had UFC Noche. Are you wearing a UFC Noche t-shirt?
I put the shirt on just for you guys, actually.
Look at that. That shirt's going to be worth a lot of money. Now, this past weekend, we have UFC Noche. It's in the Sphere. I wanted to talk about it because I'm watching the event at home, and I'm always like a very controversial guy, Richie. Like I've always got like takes that most people don't have. And I was like, I need to see somebody and I need to speak to someone that's at this Noche event. And here comes Richie Urquidez, who was at it. But Richie, why were you at UFC Noche? Tell the fans.
I probably am one of the luckiest people in the world, honestly. I got to sit ringside. I was the timekeeper for all of the matches, right next to Steve Mazzagatti. I don't know if you guys know who Steve is. Used to be a referee, is now a timekeeper. So he and I were ringside, working the clock. Every time you heard the little horn or the clappers, that was us.
Richie, I don't want to say anything, but at UFC Noche, it was the best clappers I've ever heard at an event. I don't know.
I doubt that.
No. Okay, Richie, before we get into the whole Noche thing, how the heck do you become the timekeeper for UFC?
You know, that's a funny story. Honestly, it was really, I used to work in California. My grandmother was part of the California State Athletic Commission. She said, "Hey, you really should try out to be a timekeeper, you know, work through some of the amateurs, and then you know, we'll try and give you a shot with CSAC, right?" And so with the California State Athletic Commission. And I did it. Then while I lived over there, I moved to Vegas. I lived in Vegas for like 5 years, and I would drive back to California because the way that a timekeeper works, it's part of the commission, right? And so I was only able to get assigned in California for the longest time. Finally built up the resume a little bit and decided, you know what? They have the best fights in Vegas. I live in Vegas now. I just need to, you know, drum up the courage to go apply for the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Well, turns out I went in there, and the executive director, who is Jeff Mullen, turns out he was a kickboxer as well, right? So he trained with one of my uncles. Well, I guess my uncle's Benny the Jet Urquidez, right? So if you've looked him up, you'll know who he is. But older kickboxing world champion, and Jeff Mullen knew exactly who he was when I walked in the door. And so it kind of sparked the conversation. And he was excited because there was another timekeeper that was about to retire, and he was like, "Hey, you're getting here at the perfect time. You know, we have 4 timekeepers. One of them's going to retire." And it was just luck, really.
Wow.
You know, I kind of lucked into getting into the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
That is so crazy.
Then, yeah, it really is kind of surreal, and it's been a dream, right? Like, it started off as more of a hobby than, you know, anything real. And just as time went on, I got to do more and more shows and bigger shows, right? Before it was small shows. I used to do, you know, kickboxing shows in Burbank at you know, the Marriott Convention Center.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I used to do some Thompson boxing stuff. And that was the coolest experience too, is actually at one of the Thompson fights, I got the opportunity to meet another ring announcer that was an amazing, or is still an amazing ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr. And the cool thing is that as a timekeeper, when you do boxing, you ring the bell, right? And so the ring announcers sometimes like to hear the bell when they have, you know, they introduce somebody or they have their little signature.
Yes.
They want to hear the bell ring. So I worked with Jimmy Lennon Jr. And after that night, Jimmy told me, he goes, you really stand out, you know, stick with it. You're going to do great. And this was really early in my career. Right. And it was one of those moments where I was like, this is great. You know, like, how could I not? And then again, maybe a couple years later, I met Joe Martinez, and you know, I've had the opportunity to work with really the world's best referees in the business, right? Not only in MMA, but in boxing as well. So yeah, it's been a dream. It's definitely been a dream. So I have to say though, Noche was more luck than anything, right? Because there's only 4 timekeepers in Nevada, right? Nevada State Athletic Commission. And I know Dana White was a little upset about, you know, having Canelo in town the same time.
Right.
But if it wasn't for Canelo, I probably would have not been assigned the UFC spear, right? Because I'm the lowest guy on the totem pole. So thanks Canelo for coming to Vegas, because I got the experience of a lifetime to work UFC Noche.
He's listening to us right now, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Canelo.
That is crazy, Richie. But man, you know, it's so funny because I'm a commentator now for Fight League Atlantic out on East Coast Canada, and going to the events now. This is my 1-year anniversary working for them, Rain, like doing the commentating for them. It's my 1-year anniversary. This event is coming up. And what's crazy is that I've gotten to know some of the people that work for the Nova Scotia Combat Sports Authority, which is the commission out there. Some of the nicest people out there. And there's one gentleman who works there who sometimes brings his son. And I've said to his son, you got to follow in your dad's footsteps. This is a very niche thing to get in with the commission, to be a referee or a commission guy. And I mean, it's kind of such a cool life that you could have, like to be that. And so Richie, like for you to get in there doing the timekeeping, how old were you when you started that?
It was 2017, I think, is when I started.
Okay.
I was already probably 30.
Okay. Oh, you look like a young guy, but yeah, okay. But so yeah, like that's crazy though, right? Like that's crazy. I'm telling you guys, like if you're listening to this podcast, follow your dreams, man. Like go take shots and opportunities, because like when you were 30 years old, there's no way you were thinking like, you know what? I'll probably be the timekeeper at the biggest UFC event of all time in 7 years.
Never in my wildest dreams, right? It was,
Yeah.
it was never even a thought. It was just like something cool on the weekends where, you know, I've always been interested in martial arts and kickboxing and MMA and boxing. So it was just like, you know, I get to be a part of this. Why not? You know, and even if it is a small show.
Crazy.
To be,
That's amazing.
So I guess, yeah, thanks. Yeah, super lucky. UFC Noche, though, I have to say, Dana White delivered on every level of that show. It was the most spectacular thing I had ever been a part of, right? Like walking in there, I mean, you just look up. I mean, the spear had the ability to change the mood by that screen, right? You could walk in there in the dead of night and it would change it to like if it was daytime, and you would think that it was daytime inside there. It was wild.
Wow.
And the fact that he changed the theme every fight, right? So there was a movie in between every fight and it changed the theme. Like everybody was just, I think when he said that the spear was the star of the show, it stole the show for sure. Hopefully.
So hold on, Richie. I want to ask you, have you been, because this is what I really want to get out of someone that was there. Had you been to the Sphere before that day?
Yes. I was there for the postcards on Mars or postcards from Earth or something like that. Yeah, there's like a video that they have, right?
Okay.
And even that is worth going to. I think it was about $60. It's definitely, it gives you kind of that Sphere experience. But the fight itself, being in there and the way that they did it was, 10 times better.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So then I want to ask you, so you're there now and right away you're saying, hey, this was freaking insane. Like you're saying this was blowing you away, because when I'm listening to the commentators like Joe Rogan and stuff, they were really playing it up about how incredible it was. But I'm like, are they just saying this because they work for the UFC? Are they making it better than it was? But you're not necessarily an employee of the UFC, but you're saying, yeah, this was insane.
Oh, 100%. Like when I walked in there, it was already like, wow, it's next level. Like you have to experience it. I've not been able to watch it on TV yet. And I kind of want to see what the experience was like for the pay-per-view people, like the people that got to watch it on TV.
Okay.
I talked to people.
So, and I apologize, I think there might be a little bit of an audio.
Oh,
I'm not trying to cut you off. Okay, so here's the thing, Richie. I'm kind of like, I'm an old man and I'm grumpy a lot. Okay, so I often like take a more like upset look at things. I'm going to show you some photos of what I'm watching as a viewer on TV when I'm looking at Noche, because I was thinking it was under impressive to me. Like to me, it didn't meet the expectations I had. So I'm going to show you some photos because I want to ask you to clarify some things that I'm looking at when I'm seeing it on TV here. So I have some photos. They're kind of out of order here, but I'm going to try to do my best. So this one here, where's the one that I really wanted? Here's one here. This is very dark though, but you can see where the octagon is, and then you can see where the screen is all around it. The reason why I have this photo here, the two screens where you can see like the camera action, right? Like where they've got the two screens of it, of like what's happening in the, to me and to the people I'm messaging while the event was going on, it looked very small. Were those screens like kind of small in comparison, or like is it because of the angle we're looking at it?
A little bit of both. I remember the first time I saw those two screens on the side, and I was a little bit like disappointed because I thought, oh, it would be cool if the whole screen was the fighters. But I think the way that it's designed, I think those are the only two areas where they can get the live stream without developing video. So if you notice, like they developed like a video for that screen because it's so large. I might be way off there though.
Wait. But I want to confirm. And first of all, Rain, I'm saying this is 1 point for Timmy B here because Richie said the screens are a bit small. Richie, the screens that you're seeing there, they are embedded in the sphere. That's not a separate TV outside, right?
Correct.
So yeah. So my thing here, Rain, is why were those things like that small? Why wouldn't they just make it like almost freaking the whole thing? Like, why do you need all that filler stuff around it? Like so much filler.
I think the filler kind of gave it a theme though. Like while you were in there, it really did give it a theme of each fight, right? Like the fact that they did each fight had, different ring card girls and different backgrounds. And so it really took you to a whole nother place. It was almost like going to a different place after each fight.
But I feel like watching it from at home, I wasn't getting that sense. That's why I appreciate that you're saying that, because you're saying, oh, the ring girls were dressed up different and it was a different story. I feel like that didn't translate well to the viewers at home, but I'm glad that it translated for you, right?
Yeah. And again, my experience is way different than probably even, people who paid to go to the event, right? People that were sitting in 200 section or the 400 section, because like that view that you showed, I believe that's the nosebleeds, right? That's the nosebleeds.
Like this,
so looking down at the octagon. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. If you want to sit here, it was $5,000.
Stop.
Like, no
really?
lie. Yeah, like 5,000 US. Rain. You could buy my house with that money. You know what I mean? Like I'm in Canada, but yeah. Okay, so Richie, I apologize for keeping you, man. Are you okay to keep chatting a bit?
Oh yeah, you're good. I'm actually waiting at the airport for my wife right now. She's a flight attendant. She's supposed to come. So.
Okay, all right. Here we go. All right, here's the next photo. I want to show you this. Here, this is kind of like from the side of the screen. So now you can see, and there you go. There's those 400 people like way up there, right? So this is kind of like from the screen looking out. The reason why I have this photo, Richie, I was shocked at how little people were on the floor. It seemed like there was like a lot of empty space around the cage at this event. Am I crazy?
No, actually, that's funny that you mentioned that, because that was something that the commission and I had talked about. We were like, we want to do the show there all the time because there was so much space on the floor.
Oh.
So I don't know if they did that purposefully because of the cameras and the angles that they were trying to get. But they really did limit the amount of people that were like in the octagon circle, right? Yeah. They did have some seats there, and there were some, there were some celebrities down there, and like governors and all those people are down there. But so they did allow people down there, but I don't think they sold a ton of tickets in that little vicinity. So
yeah, it was strange to me because it seemed like there was a lot of empty space there, and it was just shocking to me why you wouldn't fill that. I mean, they were charging. I had reports that there were some seats that were going for $58,000. Wow, $58,000. So I'm like, I'd be making more seats if I could sell them for $58,000 and the event sold out, right? Apparently. So I mean, someone was buying those tickets. Dude, put a few more chairs next to Richie and sell them. Like there's space. All right, here's the next photo I want to show, and this goes towards like the smallness that I was worried about. And I got 2 points now, Brain, because both my points have sold here. Here's the next one, Richie. This was for the main event. There was this weird thing that seemed to be like a hologram in the middle with and that's I think that's Marab there. Was that a real hologram or is that in the screen?
It's in the screen.
So
the way that they did it, though, it looked like a real hologram.
Like a real,
the way that it looked very good. I actually took a few pictures of it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I liked the most, I think, was every time they did the tail of the tape. I don't know if you have a picture of the tail of the tape.
Yeah, tail of the tape.
Yeah.
Boom, there we go.
That.
Ooh.
Exactly. That was one of my favorite parts of the event, is when they did that, because, like, you know, at that point the fighters looked larger than life, right?
Yeah.
Like they just
Yeah.
looked, yeah.
But that now I can't tell, because the photo I'm showing of that, and that's the Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso, like when they were doing the tail of the tape. And if you're listening only on audio, I apologize. Come over and check out the video version, or if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure you watch Noche, so you know what we're talking about. The tail of the tape here, are they bigger than the hologram version? I can't tell, or is that all the same size?
They're about the same size. They look a lot larger there, just because you're you know, floor level, but yeah, it's about the same size. So when you're looking at that you know, full length picture, and then you look at the hologram, they're about the same size. It's just a different style of how they were showing the fighter, and the hologram did look cool.
But so here's the hologram of Sugar Sean now, and this is just one more version. So those little things that look like drones, that was fake too? That they weren't really drones in the sphere? Those were on the screen?
There were drones in the sphere. There actually were drones flying around during the fights. Those on that picture are fake, right? Those are not real drones.
Oh, okay.
But they did have drones flying around during the fights and during the event.
Oh, okay. But so my question here was, these aren't drones actually shooting down a hologram. That was just like part of the show.
Correct. That was just part of the screen, the part of the show. The other thing that was really cool was the like 4D portion of it, right? So like they in the screen they shot a bunch of confetti, or like I think at the time it was flowers, right? Like flower petals.
Where the skull explodes into the flowers.
Yep. Yeah.
And so then real flowers shot out?
Yeah. I think it was confetti, but yeah. It was like very similar looking. It was pretty cool, and then you could see it come out. And so they did a lot of that kind of experience. The other thing that I heard, and I was not able to confirm, but that whole 4D experience, if you paid for a seat that was one of the normal sphere seats, when somebody would get hit really hard or like slam on the mat, the chair would actually vibrate, right? So that was another thing that I had heard, and I really wanted to find out and confirm, but I wasn't able to confirm it, right? Nobody wanted to let me sit in their seat.
Richie, I need to know that. Now, how much do you have to pay extra at the Sphere so that when you're sitting there, when Irene Aldana starts squirting blood, that little blood spurts come out of your chair at you? Can we get that?
Yeah, I got that, right? Because I was that close. I don't think everybody else did. And typically that's not my favorite thing about being cage side, right? Like sometimes we're trying to block it, or, you know, put a little poster up or something so it catches that.
Nice.
It's funny that you mentioned that, right? I got a funny story about that. So the very first time I was at an MMA event, the timekeeper that I was working with said, hey, make sure that you put the top on your water bottle when you're here on the table, because they sweat or they bleed. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Well, I put the cap on and I left it there. And I'm not kidding you. There was a drop of blood right in the center of the cap. And I was like appalled. But then I was like grateful that he had told me, right? Because I would have totally drank it. It was, So,
I mean, like that was like an amateur show or something, or when was that? That was not a UFC thing.
no, it wasn't a UFC event. It was an amateur show.
Yeah. So imagine though, if you didn't put the cap on, and then that drop of blood goes in your water, but that fighter was juicing with roids. Then you drink
You get,
your
like, the
water.
Spider-Man effect.
Yeah, and the next morning you're like juiced and
Jacked.
juicing, and your wife is like, "What, honey? Look at you. You're a specimen." And you just get some free peds. Okay, so my question here though, for point number 3 for Timmy B, was this disappointing that the holograms of these fighters were not filling the whole friggin' thing? If you had Timmy B as creative director, I would have had Sugar Sean almost like coming the whole screen, holding the two little TVs that seem to be on there all the time. He would have been like massive over it, kind of like hovering, like he's like about ready to be Godzilla to eat the people in the sphere.
I don't think there was anything disappointing about it, to be honest.
No?
It was yeah, like I'm usually very critical. But yeah, there was nothing disappointing about that.
That's not too small, Richie. That's not too small.
No, not at all. And actually, the funny thing is that the very first fight, I was super critical. I was like, oh, this is cool, but it was just like a big red sign of Noche, and it had like,
Right.
looked like a cage kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then it progressively got cooler and cooler, and then they started having chapters and the video, and I think they did an incredible job, and I really hope that Dana White does another one. Even if I don't work it, like, that was spectacular, and I think more people need to experience it for sure.
No, Richie, there is a 0% chance that Dana White watches this podcast, but let me just speak to Dana White right now. Okay, if you go back to Noche, or if you go back to the sphere, it has to have Richie Urquidez as the timekeeper. You know why?
Because honored, right? But
yeah, because you can't jinx it, man. You got to keep everything the same so that it's just as successful. So you got to keep the same timekeeper. You know what I mean? Now, okay, so it's 2-1 now for me, Rain, because I lose on the thing that Sugar Sean is too small. Here's my last one, Richie, and you're okay. You're getting very dark, so I mean it's fine for us, but I'm just worried you're not going to be captured or anything. You're okay? You're safe?
No, I'm good. My wife is actually standing outside the car though, so I'm going to let her in quick.
Oh yeah,
you let her in.
We'll let her in. Yeah. She didn't know that she'd be on. She didn't know that she'd be on Joe Martinez's not worst podcast ever.
Right.
This photo here. Here's another photo. This kind of shows the emptiness on the floor that I was speaking about. But the reason for this photo, Richie, is because the images that we were seeing, okay, maybe not right at the beginning, the images that we were seeing, to me, were not as cool as I thought they were going to be. To me, at home, they kind of gave me a museum kind of feel. Kind of like, it wasn't like the best art or style that I had ever seen in my life. Did you feel like the art could have been cooler?
I think there was some that were amazing, and like, how do I explain it? The different themes, they did a really good job, right?
Yeah.
I thought there was a couple of them where I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, and it didn't like really awe me, but there were other fights where, like the Mayan one, right? Like where they had the temple, and then there was another one where it was like Dia de los Muertos, like
yes.
They went in that hallway. So there was a few of them where like it almost immersed you and you felt like you were like in the sphere. And then there was a couple other ones where I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but like it could have been better, right?
Okay, hold on. Did it just progressively get better and better, or are you saying like some of them you'd be like, oh, that's awesome, and then the next one you're like, oh, that's not so awesome, and you'd be like, oh, that's awesome, okay, not so awesome? Like, was it like that, or was it just progressively better?
I think it got progressively better, but there were some in the later ones where I was like, oh, that's that's cool, right? But
Yeah.
it was like, oh my gosh, like I was immersed into this thing, right? Like
Okay.
there were some where you felt,
That's 3 points for Timmy B. Because I thought the art could have been a little bit better. Let me just show you one quick thing, Richie, and I know you got to go, my friend. But at UFC 300, they brought in a really cool artist that you'll see on UFC, Jian Galang, I think is his name. I don't know how to say it properly, but he's the guy that creates this art. And he'll create these cool things. And at UFC 300, they commissioned him to bring in that. The next time they go to the Sphere or the next time you do something artistic, you got to get a cool artist like this. You got to get some sort of guy that's got some sort of unique style that you can kind of be a little bit more like, I don't know how to say it, like a little bit more street, you know, or you got like something a little bit cooler. Because I just felt like it was a little bit bland at times. And I feel like had you got like some real, some people with street cred, I don't know how to say it, Rain. It's so stupid when I say it. Like we need Slim Reaper back here to talk what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? Like maybe just a little bit more stylistic.
Right. No, you're right. Like there were some times where I was like, oh, the art's cool. I think they were really just trying to stick to that Mexican theme, right?
Right.
Into that more arty feel. That's probably why what they did. But I think the one thing that we didn't talk about enough was the ring girls, like how they changed them and how they did that. I think that was one of the coolest things. I was telling everybody, like, honestly, it was part of the experience, like seeing the ring girls and how they were dressed up in different
costumes.
Yeah, costumes. The makeup artist, I think she did an amazing job, right? The one that did all. Yeah.
Now, Richie, you were saying you're picking up your wife. So you're a married man.
Yep.
I'm a married man. Rain is a married woman. So we're all very polite and respectful people here. I will say, I didn't love the ring girls being dressed up like that.
Well,
two reasons. One is some of the costumes were a little bit out there. And two, I'm just going to say, I don't know. Is it not cultural appropriation? I don't know. All these like white girls and stuff are dressing up in these pure Mexican outfits. I'm like, I don't know, man.
No,
like,
they were all Mexican.
They're all Mexicans.
Oh, it wasn't
Mexicans. Yeah. So they.
I thought it's friggin' the normal ring girls. These were Mexican girls.
They were Mexican, and they brought them in specifically for that event. And there was a big thing. Like, all of these are Mexicans from Mexico. I think 2 of them were born in the U.S., but they were like second generation.
No. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, I thought it's like some white girls dressing up like this, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. I did not know this. So, Rain, I don't lose a point for this one. Because I rest my case. I withdraw my I take back my objection to it. Okay, well that's cool, man. That they had these girls dressed up like that. All right, well I didn't see that. Okay,
yeah.
Richie, your wife is going to get mad at you that you're doing this unrequested podcast and we're taking up your time. So I am going to let you go, man. And thank you so much, dude, for coming on the podcast. This was a great conversation. We could not have had a better conversation about this, Rain, because
it was just perfect timing that I met him, through Joe and Lena yesterday. So
well, Richie. Oh
no, what happened?
Now his phone dies at exactly the perfect time. I mean,
vanished. Oh
that's all right. I mean, it was going darker and darker.
Oh my god! Perfect timing from the UFC timekeeper, Richie Urquidez.
There you go. That just shows what a great timekeeper he is. Yeah. Okay, he's out.
Oh, I think he's coming back. I think he's trying.
We'll see what.
Oh, there he is.
All right, Richie. Richie, we're gonna say goodbye to you, my friend.
Guys.
Thank you so much.
I lost you. I can't hear you.
It's okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that is Richie Urquidez. Rain, I mean, if I ever thought that you were not a quality co-host, you getting that guest was perfection. Rain, I love that he helped correct me on some things about Noche, but also supported me on quite a few of my criticisms as well. I think, here's my thing, Rain, I think the UFC could have done a better job from the production aspect for the television viewer. to give us more a sense of what was going on. I feel like as a viewer, I wasn't getting it enough. And I don't know how you do that. I don't know if it's your camera angles and stuff, but I do think you should kind of never show me this angle. Like, never show me that. You know what I mean? And for the audio listeners, I'm showing like the view from the 400 seats. Don't show me that angle because it makes everything just look too small. You know what I mean? You should have kept everything from that kind of down below view, like this, like here from the tail of the tape one, where everything looks grand.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer that.
Yeah.
Just for the overall.
But here's the thing, this is like the first. I mean, Dana White said first and only, but I doubt it. But I feel like I think it's still a successful event. Honestly, I was in Las Vegas this past weekend. I was hoping I would get tickets, but I did not. But after the event, I dragged my husband down the Las Vegas Strip just so I could see the outside of the Sphere, and just like looking at it from the outside, I was just like, I was in awe. It was quite like an experience just to see it outside. So I was very, very jealous when Richie told me, "Oh yeah, I was there last night." I was like, "Oh my god!"
So here's the thing. I know we're running a little bit late on the podcast, or maybe we're on good time. I don't know. But the event was sold out. Highest grossing Sphere event ever. Now, first of all, I don't care about that, because if you put tickets at $50,000 goddamn dollars, Rain, of course you're gonna break some records. I mean, you're not selling tickets like that to, BTS or something. You know what I mean? Like, you're not like, I don't. Who the hell pays $50,000? Anyways, but $21.8 million for this event. Okay, so that's cool. Now, here's something from my good friend over at MMA Gains, though, who is the guy that always tracks those Instagram gains. I love this dude, MMA_gains. Go check him out. But here's what he was posting a day before the event. There were lots of seats still to be sold. 1 day before the event, lots of seats. And so what I'm showing on the screen right now is all the sections. In the blue is where there were still seats available. And then he had several photos like this on the right that shows you all the seats within those sections.
Okay.
I love this dude. He's very, I don't know how nerdy he is in real life, but his account is great for me because it's so statistically accurate all the time, right? And it gives you these kind of things you don't get anywhere else. Lots of seats, Rain.
Yeah, lots of seats for sure.
Interesting that 24 hours before you had that many seats, and then they all sold out.
Well, sometimes there's people who are waiting for like, the last minute to like buy their tickets because they're thinking that the ticket prices might drop.
Sure, that's if you're going to like a Las Vegas Knights hockey game or something. But these were tickets that were like multiple thousands of dollars. Though if you're that rich buying tickets like that, you don't wait for sales. You know what I mean? So like, it is weird to me. And then I heard again through MMA Gains was saying that the ticket prices actually went up nearer the end. So you're telling me there's all these rich people that have tens of thousands of dollars to spend on tickets, and they're waiting till the last 24 hours to buy those tickets to go?
Hey, even rich people need to save money sometimes. That keeps them,
That's how they got rich.
Yeah. They know how to save money.
I mean, I guess, but that was a little bit weird to me, but okay, fine. Anyways, I'm just very excited that the event went well. I'm so happy that Richie then tells us that it really was great and everything like that, because, mind you, I'm watching it and I'm grumpy, but I'm glad that a few of the things I saw were accurate. They could have done better. I still think, though, that those screens for the fighters, or for what you're watching, should have been huge, and or the images of the fighters should have been massive. Like they should have been the whole Sphere. Like, could you imagine if like every fighter came out and was like boom, like in your face, like the whole Sphere was full of you. Like, I don't want to see your whole. I don't need to see your whole body. I don't need to see what your shorts look like. Just give me your big giant mug on the freaking screen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that would have been cool, but
Hey, that
You know,
might be like a lesson learned for them,
upgrades.
after Noche UFC. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like, I mean, Dana White said this is the first and only, but I don't think so. I think it was very successful. So there might be another UFC event at the Sphere. I hope so, because I really hope
Here's
I experience it one day.
here's my thing, Rain. If you own the Sphere,
Mm-hmm.
you should be working with Dana White immediately to say, I don't care that you're doing the event in the Sphere. We're going to play all your pay-per-views in the Sphere. The people that went there, you're not looking at the little ants fighting. You're watching it on the goddamn Sphere screen anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So the Sphere should be playing every UFC event that where they're not booked on a Saturday night. You play that event live and you let
Yeah.
and you get, maybe you're not going to charge that much money because the thing isn't in there, but you're going to rake in an easy 10 mil
Yeah.
filling that friggin' Sphere full of people, selling food, doing whatever, selling stuff, and then just putting on a cool friggin' light show while people watch the event. I think that could be incredible, man. And then you
Yeah.
think and then you do that all the time. You do that for the Contender Series on a Thursday night or whenever the hell those fights are on. You do that for whatever, and you could bring in people by the boatload to watch UFC on that Sphere. And it would be no different than if the people are there because you're not even going to friggin' know anyways.
True, true. I mean, I definitely go check that out, especially after you said that there were some seats that would, vibrate like every time like someone gets punched or kicked or knocked
Yeah.
out.
Squirt little blood at you, squirt
Oh
some
my
sweat
God.
at you. It'd be freaking awesome. I don't know. Rain, I think that's it for the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Next week, I don't know who we're going to have on as a guest. There's something going on that I have been dying to try and get, and I'm just going to show you a few quick things now. Rain, pop quiz. What is the organization that I have predicted is going out of business this
One
year?
FC.
One FC.
Okay.
They are having such massive problems, Rain. It is crazy. The president of Karate Combat, Awesome Zaidi, President Awesome, Dana Brown, as he goes by, he is now hashtagging War on One. One FC normally has their hashtag We Are One. He's now got a hashtag going called War on One because there's a whole bunch of shenanigans that One FC is doing. They are locking their fighters into contracts. They're not letting them fight. Remember when we had Max Payne Griffin on?
Mm-hmm.
And Max Payne told us about Sage Northcutt, and I said, dude, there's something going on there. Why did Sage not fight? There's drama there. And Max Payne, remember, he was like, there's something weird here. The whole dad thing. So they were doing weird stuff to Sage. They just did something very weird to Mikey Mushemi, their champion, who they stripped of the title. We've seen other weird things going on at 1FC. Asim Zaidi, he's coming out and telling all. There was a tweet that Gary Tonin, professional, he posted saying, if any MMA media are interested in an exclusive interview about me and my past experiences as well as current situation with One, email me. I have a lot to share. Guess what happened to this guy, Rain?
Uh-oh, what happened to him?
He deletes the tweet like within 30 minutes and nobody knows what's happening. One FC has gotten to that guy 30 minutes after this, but people were messaging me right away going, go email this Gary Tonin. Let's get him on the Fight Insight podcast. So I did. He has not responded at all. Asim Zaidi, the President Awesome, he goes on and starts posting about the Sage Northcutt thing and that he wants to do stuff. I posted right away saying, I want to get you on the podcast. He responds saying, okay, Fight Insight, let's do it. But I have not heard back from him. Our good friend Kelsey DeSantis, who did her tell all about the PFL drama, she knows him, was reposting it for me as well to try and get him on the podcast. I want President Awesome on this podcast to talk about One FC. I want to friggin' know the real truth behind everything that's going on, Rain. So President Awesome, let's go, bro.
Call us.
Yeah.
We need a guest for next Monday. Let's go.
Yeah. He's got a huge event. He's got a huge event coming up for Karate Combat. They're going to Singapore. They're going into One FC's backyard. Look it up. We will talk about it next week, Rain, no matter what. whether he comes on or not, but I'm trying to get him on because I want to hear it right from the horse's mouth on what the hell's going on there and what he knows. He's gone on some other shows and he's talking about things, but I want to have a good conversation with him as well, because I've been calling this crap out for a long time. And there's all this stuff that's going on with the fighters, Rain. They're like holding fighters into contracts and not letting them fight. So they're ruining these fighters' careers, because when you're locked in a contract, you can't get out and you can't fight. And remember, Rain, like when you're talking about the fighters that are over there in Thailand and stuff like that, you don't have a lot of money. So if you can't even fight to earn money, what are you doing? Like, it's a very weird thing that's going on. And, and we love the people at ONE FC, right? We've had the fighters on. We've had Mitch Chilson on, the commentator. We've had translator Frank, who's the coolest dude. We've had the Muay Thai fighters. We've had everything. So we love the fighters. We love the people there. It's just like the business in and of itself and like what's going on there. And we've talked about it before. We want them to succeed because we want these people to have an opportunity, one thing, but you got to do it in the right way. Right. And you got to make things right. But there's a lot of drama, Rain. I'm so excited because it's the Timmy B conspiracy is just, it's just growing. Like I can't contain it. And my prediction of them going out of business is like, Rain, Nostradamus. Oh my God. It's like so close. Right?
Oh my God.
But yeah, so we'll see what's going on with that. Aside from that, Rain, Fight League Atlantic. Get out there, people. Like this event, Rain. Just one more time because we rushed through it, but look at that matchup.
Woo!
Rain, look at that matchup.
I think that guy's earrings are heavier than the West Side MXC Jiu-Jitsu team.
Yeah, and do you notice, Rain? West Side MXC Jiu-Jitsu. That's where our last guest, Tori Smith, was from.
Oh, okay.
So these are her friends, but Tori Smith might need to get in there and smack some of these guys with a chair too, because like Rain, it's gonna be so cool. The BJJ event, tag team event. I'm so excited for what's about to happen. I just feel like it's gonna be so cool. I've seen there's 4 female teams in a tournament bracket, and then 8 female teams and 16 men teams. Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, not 4. Hold on. No, maybe it is 4 female teams. Hold on. Let me see if I can go quickly here and see it. Because we had the brackets. They've just released some of the brackets. They're releasing some of the matchups. And it just looks absolutely insane. Like I'm so excited and pumped for this. But it's going to be Friday. Get out there, fightleagueatlantic.com. Go get your tickets. I don't have the brackets now here right away. Right?
Wait, when are you guys doing the weigh-ins?
So the weigh-ins are Friday, but the weigh-ins are going to be for the MMA event, for the FLA 16, where we're going to see our friend Cam Nelson. We're going to see our friend, the Mummy, Abdelaziz, and we're going to see Mr. Entertainment, Ben Leese. I was wearing my Ben Leese t-shirt today too. But so we're going to have all those FLA, fighters there. There's going to be the weigh-in. I think that's going to be the Friday night. And then the Saturday, you get the BJJ in the morning, you get the tailgate party, and then you get the event. Oof. I can't wait, Rain. It's going to be insane. So I'm so happy.
Excited for you guys.
I'll tell you everything. Like, hopefully I get to meet some cool people as well, as I always do. And then maybe I'll have one of them on the podcast because it'll just be 2 days later. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So Rain, that's it for me. What about you? Anything exciting before we get out of here?
No, I just want to say, thank you again to Joe and his wife for their hospitality. I got to meet them this past weekend, and that's how I met Richie as well. I met another fighter as well through them. His name's Mackie, and he's planning on fighting later on this year. So hopefully we can bring him on to the podcast later on this year. And please don't miss UNF 20 next weekend, September 28th at Commerce Casino right here in Los Angeles, California. Tickets are still available. You get to see the Slim Reaper, Roland versus Zane Palacio. Our former friend, friend of the podcast, Anthony Romero, is going to be defending his UNF gold. So please do not miss UNF 20, September 28th. Right here in Los Angeles, California. Get your tickets, upnextfighting.com.
You got to do the promo now for Fight League Atlantic because that sounds so much better than mine. Tapper Tag 3 and FLA 16. Okay, go.
Tap or Tag 3 and FLA 16 this Saturday, September 21st in Pictou, Nova Scotia. You will see our friend Timmy B right here. Right here. Timmy B will be there. If you see him, go ask for an autograph. He will not charge you for anything. If you want a picture, though, it will be $5 US dollars, though.
Definitely. US dollars. My God, we're going to put the city of Pictou broke, Rain. $5 US. Yeah, it's going to be incredible, guys. Go check it out. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Get your tickets there. If you can't be there, get the pay-per-view. FightLeagueAtlantic.com for both events. Don't miss either one. Boom.
I'm excited for you.
That is the promo. Rain, thank you so much. We will see you guys next week. I don't know what we're going to have, but it's going to be an amazing show as always.
For sure. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. See ya.